edition of Focus, brought to you by the Department of Disaster Management. Focus is a monthly program designed to keep the community informed of issues related to all aspects of disaster management and public safety. One of these issues is that of droughts and water conservation. The question is, are we in a drought? Is this a drought season? Whether we are or not, what are we doing that can mitigate or fight against this hazard? Let's take a short break, and when we return, we're going to hear a lot more about water conservation.
पानी
Welcome back to Focus. In a recent conversation, I spoke with the Director of Water and Sewage, Mrs. Pearline Scatliff-Leonard. We were speaking about water conservation, and in speaking with her, she pointed out ways in which we can all cooperate in water conservation. Let's listen to what she had to say.
World Water Day is a day basically when globally, and I say globally because it's the entire world looks at our water situation. We look at the manner in which we use water, the importance of water, what we need to do in order to conserve water, and what we can do in order to assist or contribute to the sustainability of our water network. Basically, that's what it is. So we are talking about water in the health sector, water in agriculture, and water for the homes, the businesses, and so forth. That's basically what it is. So it's usually a day where nations meet to discuss the importance of water.
Okay, well, maybe what I should have asked you first is, well, Water Day is coming up. When is it?
Yes.
When is it?
Each year, and this is each year since 1993, World Water Day is held on March 22nd. So that is the day we celebrate World Water Day, March 22nd.
And this is celebrated worldwide?
This is celebrated worldwide.
And it's under which organization?
It's under the United Nations in the UK.
Okay, so what do you have, or what does Water and Sewage or the territory have planned for World Water Day?
On this specific day, which is next Friday, the 22nd of March, what we will be doing, we are preparing information to get out to the schools. We are preparing various brochures and flyers to get out to establishments where we could have them handy or ready for customers to take one and get acquainted with our water conservation efforts, because it's very important that everybody understands that water conservation is not a water and sewage department matter. It's not a BVI government matter. It's a country matter. It's a territory-wide matter. And we all have to play our part in ensuring that we do what is necessary to conserve as much water as possible.
So why is it important to conserve water, really?
I'm now hearing the stories about St. Lucia and the drought there. And while we may not be in that particular predicament, because we do get our water from desalination plants, it still remains an important issue for us to conserve water, because as we know, yes, we have desalination plant, and I might say that we look at the sea, and people might say, or you might say that we have the sea there, there's water there, but remember there's a process that seawater has to go through in desalination. Those same desalination plants, they can break down. Many things can happen to them, and utilizing water for areas like washing a car, allowing leaks to go by, even along the road and what have you, allowing them to go by. That's water coming from the reservoir, and that's water we could be saving in the reservoir to utilize later. So issues like that you look at.
So besides World Water Day, which is on stream, what other things Water and Sewage Department is doing to continue this water conservation effort?
Well, I will just reiterate some stuff and probably add a few. We are right now in a campaign on water conservation. This is being spearheaded through the Ministry of Communications and Works. So we have been doing since February 28th some campaign on that. We have been speaking with customers as they come in, because as customers come in, you realize we have issues with the billing. We have issues with high readings and so forth, and most of these readings are attributed to leaks and what have you not. So we are advising customers how they can test their premises for leaks. And talk with the meters. In particular, you have the toilets, because sometimes you hear that noise in the toilet and people look at it as nothing, but that is a lot of water going down there. That's water going down in no way a cost to you. So that's an issue that we are dealing with as well. In June, and that's because we didn't come across the World Water Day in good time, but we still understand the importance of the day and the importance to share with our customers the need to conserve water. In June, we'll be having a customer appreciation day, and we will be included in that day all the issues we would have included in the March 22nd day. But next year, March 22nd, we will be on tap with ensuring that we keep the event that we are hosting in June on March 22nd. So on that day, we'll be encouraging, and we haven't gotten out there yet, so I hope they don't have a surprise look on their face when they hear this, but we will be looking towards companies to see how they can maybe order in, or maybe they have on stock right now water efficient appliances and fixtures that people could use to kind of decrease the amount of water they use in the house. We'll be bringing in others as well to share with customers, what they can do to decrease water usage, to conserve water, which again helps the territory when it comes to water conservation. It helps us all. It's an all thing. It's not, as I said already, it's not a water and sewage department thing. It's not a government thing. It's a territory thing. Water conservation. We all have to do our part. So we will be making sure of that. They would also feature, you know, getting our customers acquainted with our laboratory testing area, because, you know, while we desal the water, you know, this water is still going through pipelines up to your home, and we don't go beyond the boundary of your house. So you have pipelines in there too, and the water receiving on your end is always a good thing to have that tested. So we do have a testing lab that, you know, we are trying to encourage everyone at least once per year to come in and get the water tested to make sure that you are in no danger health-wise, and that it won't be danger from the desalination plant or from our reservoir, because we take care of the water in the reservoir, and at the plant we are okay there, because we have to make sure that we are supplying safe potable water. But what about your end? You know, are you safe on your end? So the best way to find out is come test the water. $20 per annum, that's all it takes to make, you know, what, you know, cost $20 to your health. That is minimal. So we are looking at that as well.
So on that day, when you guys celebrate in June, what would that day be called, or what the name of that fair? Is it going to be a fair, right?
I want to call it a fair. It will be focused around the World Water Day concept, okay? Because as I said before, we want to be sharing with persons what we can do to conserve water. So even leading up to that day, we are trying to get into the schools as well to see if we can get our competition going with the schools. And who knows, we might probably look at incentives, you know, with that, whether we maybe the best school, maybe you can give us some discount there. I don't know what we'll do, but you could we could also do something with the school, and that is what we are doing, because we're looking at sustainability, but you also have to look at the youths as well, because those are the ones coming up. So they need to understand what they need to contribute towards this whole effort. So it's not the adults alone. We also need our young people, our children, and everybody on board to understand. And I was sharing a story this morning, so with one of my employees, and I said to them, sometimes the children, they just go and flush just to see the water spinning, going wrong in the toilet, going down, and not realizing that is a cost to the parent, is wasting water, and is hurting the territory. So if you could get that message out, it would be something good for us from the children's end. So
how does that tie into the theme? What is the theme of
World Water Day? Yes.
What is the theme for World Water Day?
The theme is water cooperation. Water cooperation is the theme, and what that has been is simple. We all need to cooperate in order to conserve the water. Okay, we have to balance it. So if you know that for instance, we have our agriculture. I know you're going to speak with your agriculture here in a while, or before me, I don't know. But we have our agriculture. We know agriculture is very important to us as well. So that's where we grow our food, and you don't know in the future what will be happening with us as well. So we need to make sure our agriculture is thriving. So, you know, what do we do to make sure that enough water is in there to make sure our agriculture area gets that water they need during the day while we at work? You understand? Because most of us are at work in the mornings during the week, you know. So what can we do to maintain more extra water in there during the day from 8:30 or 9 to 4, so that agriculture could get some water while we are out? So stuff like this, a cooperation effort, you know. What can we do to help the other brother or sister, to help the other area of the business to thrive in that area? So we are looking at that. That's what it's about. Water cooperation, that's the thing. Water conservation, that's what we are preaching. Conserving water, and everyone getting on board. I'm repeating myself, I think, because it's important that everybody understand. Again, it's not a water and sewage department issue. It's not a government alone issue. It's a territory-wide issue, from the smallest children right up to the biggest adult. Great to small, or small to great, however you want to put it. So, you know, you're traveling along the road, you see a leak, call into the department and say something. We need to know, because we are here. We are not going to see all the leaks in the territory because we are here. You see something that looks like a leak in the road, it looks unusual, call into the department and make a complaint about it before it, you know, explodes down there. You see the water right there bubbling. So before that is expanded, we were able to go in and deal with it quickly. You know, issues like that. So we want the public to take ownership of water distribution network, basically. You know, don't leave it up to the water personnel alone. You take ownership, because it's our territory. It's our water distribution system. It's ours. Okay? We are here to maintain it and take care of it for you. But at the same time, you have a responsibility as well to make sure that you do the reporting, make sure you report, and make sure that, you know, you follow up and so forth. You know, the responsibility. So I'm asking everybody to let's share the responsibility of ensuring that our water distribution network is being taken care of properly, and that we ensure that when we see waste happening, that we report it, that we ensure that you take a pledge today. Take some sort of pledge today to look at ways and means in the home where you can decrease the use of water, wasting water. If you're washing your car, see if you can get a bucket outside and use the bucket to wash the car. If you have a garden, you know, see if you could, because I know some of us, we have washers and so forth. I know washing, you put chemicals in there that will damage the plants, so you want to be careful with that. But I know we do use the tap water, we have the zinc and so forth. What can you do to maybe channel the water that's going down the zinc to the garden, as opposed to using fresh water in the garden? Because it's not going to damage the plant. Okay? I know we have pets and so forth. People have the pets and so forth, as opposed to leaving a hose one of the pet when you're washing and scrubbing. Maybe you need to, you know, get a bucket and bathe the pet and so forth. Stuff like that. Stuff around the house that you could, whatever. You have laundry. Sometimes you wash your laundry in a big load. When you know, you could probably wait a little few days from all, you know, dirty stuff to just put in a full load. So take ownership. Be a little bit more responsible. Understand that yes, we have water all around the place, and you know that proverb is a French proverb, I think, that says you never know water you have till the well run dry or something like that. It's a French proverb, and we don't want to get in that situation. We want to make sure that we are prepared, so in the event something happens, we have enough water conserved to take care of us, at least for a few days, until we get on track, basically. So take ownership. Make a pledge today.
world is full of water. This is the blue planet as seen from space. But nearly all of this is salt water. Less than 3% is fresh, and only half of that is accessible. And it's unevenly distributed across the globe. Water is a finite resource. What we have now is all we'll ever have. But for perhaps the first time in history, global demand may outstrip supply. The world's population is around 7 billion people. And by 2050, it may well grow to 9 billion. And by that time, 70% of the people will be urbanized. Cities may take less than 1% of the land, but they can take up to 20% of the water. Climate change is bringing more frequent floods and drought, disrupting food production. There are saline risks as sea levels rise. The growth in bioenergy crops puts more pressure on water. And as the world gets wealthier, our diets demand more water-intensive foods. By 2030, the gap between freshwater supply and demand could reach 40%. This water gap creates a potential for conflict among water users, whether for food, energy, environment or health. History shows the disputes have been resolved when people share the benefits of water. This requires trust and cooperation from everyone involved, working together and investing in the sustainable development of our water resources. Established in 1996, the Global Water Partnership is a network of over 2,700 partners worldwide. As a broad-based organization, we can bring together the different interests concerned: governments, civil society, and the private sector. From local through to global level, we can share our experience and technical expertise. Sharing the benefits of water requires an integrated approach, where every sector works together, promoting economic efficiency, ecosystem sustainability, and social equity. In Central Asia, we are the main network that can bring together the countries that share the region's water resources. In Africa, we are working on climate-resilient development in 8 countries and 4 transboundary river basins. In the Mediterranean, we are promoting dialogue among the people who share the Drin River Basin. In Central Europe, we are supporting improvements in the management and development of the Danube River Basin, shared by 19 countries. In Latin America, we are encouraging the creation of water governance frameworks at many different levels. And in China, we are working with water users associations to influence policies on rural development and water saving. These are just a few examples of how we are working through our partnerships in 13 regions and over 160 countries around the world. 2013 is the International Year of Water Cooperation, reminding us that water is a precious and vulnerable resource to be efficiently managed and equitably shared. Let's put water at the top of our agenda. We invite you to join our partnership and help make the world water secure.
Welcome back to Focus. Thanks again for joining us on today's show, where we are now more aware of the part we have to play as responsible citizens in water conservation. There is an old American Indian saying that is very profound. It says, "The frog does not drink up the pond in which he lives." To us, this means that saving water is everybody's business and responsibility. And it should be that way, or the way of life for all Virgin Islanders. We admit that the water conservation program has not received enough attention and focus as in the past. However, it is good to know that some individuals are doing their part in water conservation, but a lot more needs to be done. I want to thank my guests for being on today's show, and this brings us to the end of another Focus Show. Don't forget to tune into Focus Show every second and fourth Wednesday on CBN at 9 p.m., every second and fourth Thursday on JTV at 6 p.m., and every second and fourth Saturday on Channel 52 at 7 p.m. Focus can also be viewed on www.bviddm.com. So until next time, remember, it is better to prepare and prevent rather than repair and repent. I am Linton Leonard, and thank you for joining me on this episode of Focus, the show that keeps watch for the Virgin Islands community.